Circle Rants. Mark out with us. Hey guys, Mr. Awesome RC Gate here, and welcome to another edition of the Squared Circle Rants podcast, number 2 point. Is that a point? I don't know how to do that signal with my hand, but episode 2.0, 20. And hopefully this episode will be a lot better than the other 2.0s, but I don't have a lot of viewers, so I guess they get the win. Anyway, on this episode we got more rants, of course WWE, rants on AEW, but before I get into the rants, it's on my list of rants, but this isn't something I'm upset about or gonna bitch about. But I do want to talk about what happened to Big E last Friday. It's horrible. It's unfortunate. If you haven't seen it, I'm sure you have by now. During a match between Big E, Kofi Kingston, The New Day. Did I do good? Am I good? Anywho. Versus Sheamus and Ridge Holland. And there's a third member now, and we'll get to that in just a second. That's actually a part of the rants. But during the match, Big E took a belly-to-belly from Ridge Holland on the outside. And if you didn't see it, oh my god. It was bad. Like, it wasn't just a botch. It looked bad. Of course, they were smart to have the cameras just stay on now Kofi fighting Sheamus and Holland. Because obviously Big E really needed help. I mean, you could see it the moment his head impacted, his whole body coming down on his neck. Oh god, it looked bad. And I think they had to stretcher him out. The good news, however, and he's in such good spirits, like, God bless you, Big E. I love you, man. He's good. Of course, he has some fractures. I can't remember the exact terminology, but no surgery, no nerve damage. He even said I can wiggle my fingers, which is good. And again, he's in great spirits. And Big E, what a man, or what a guy, not just for staying positive, because, power of positivity, but he lives it. And I'm glad he's okay. He had a ton of support. And this is what I love about wrestling behind the scenes, is he had everyone from WWE, AEW, Impact, all around the indies wishing him well, hoping he's gonna, heal quick. I do too. I hope he heals quick, gets back in the ring. This was an unfortunate accident. Ridge could have done, well, he definitely could have done the move better. But hey, Big E's not mad at him. Ridge did the good thing, visited him in the hospital. So there's no heat. I'm sure Ridge got a talking to. Taz made a good point. I didn't quite understand what he was talking about at first. Then I saw the whole mess. And it was, he shared a video, or someone shared a video of Taz. He's really good at suplexes, or used to be. No offense, Taz. But he was making the claim that it's not about strength, it's about the technique, which, very true. Ridge Holland, mucho strength. Mucho. But you gotta know what you're doing. I don't think Ridge should be fired or suspended, but definitely needs to be in the doghouse for a while, but I'm sure he feels worse than anybody else. But yeah, before I got into the rants, I wanted to talk about that. Big E, get well soon. Can't wait to see you back in the ring. I love you, buddy. Just hearing your voice isn't enough. We love seeing you come out after the oh, and damn it, when you get back, you need the title again. Definitely. All right, so enough of that lovey-dovey crap. Just kidding. Love you again. Um, let's get to, yes, the third member. I mean, it's not, I don't know what they call themselves, if they're a group, Ridge Holland and Sheamus. But they added a third member. Says he goes by Pete Dunne, but we call him something else. Oh, God. So Pete Dunne got the repackaging, the rename, and we thought Gunther was horrible. Nope, they had to do it again. Yes, Pete Dunne's new name, Butch. And they got him dressed up. Well, I'll give him this. He's dressed up just like Sheamus and Ridge Holland. They got that going to go with whatever style they are. But this is so stupid. I mean, once again, we have a well-established wrestler. Everybody knows him. Everybody has seen him. He didn't have a dip in popularity as far as I'm aware. And the main roster creative, or Vince himself, decided, you know what? I can make it better. I know it's a horrible impression, but you see where I'm going. I can make it better. Let's call him Butch. Yeah, because he looks like a Butch. Look at him. It's... God dang. And I know a lot of people aren't angry at this. They're like, hey man, stuff happens. But again, he's a well-established guy. He didn't need this. Just like I'm worried, rumors have been coming around that Elias is getting a new name. We haven't seen him in a long time, but we kind of saw this coming. With the vignettes, with Elias is dead, him burning the guitar, the weird tombstone thing. Now, he didn't need a repackaging. I mean, they could have given him better storylines. Hint, hint. But at least we all see this coming, that when Elias, whenever he returns, maybe he's going to get the Veer treatment, that we know something different's coming. And when you compare Pete Dunne to Elias, yeah, okay, Elias can get revamped. I mean, he's a good asset to have, but he's not as well established as Pete Dunne or a Walter. I mean, we all know him. He's entertaining, but we're waiting on it. We're waiting to see it's just needless to do that to Dunne, to do that to Walter. It's ridiculous. You gotta hope that they're getting big money coming in to go through that. And also, an argument can be made, this is Vince really just trying to wipe out all things black and gold NXT. Just, you know what? Everyone loved him in NXT and NXT UK. Let's forget about that. Let's just push that to the side. We know what to do with him. Let's entertainize him. No, I'll think of a better way to say that. But it's just ridiculous. And to continue on the WWE ridiculousness train, Braun freaking Breaker. Oh, I know I complain about him a lot, but I'll say again, very talented. Looks and talks like a mix between his dad and his uncle. We all know I hate the name. A lot of us hate the name. But Mr. Braun Breaker Steiner is already getting pushed up to the main roster. God damn. Why? Why? I was upset enough that they gave him the NXT championship already. And then now this, I mean, we can see it. They're going to push him to the moon. And I mean, I don't want to say that he doesn't deserve it because he's proven himself. I'll give him that, but damn, he's still green. I mean, he doesn't show it as much as others. Like, say, let's compare him to Hobbs. Hobbs is awesome. I want to see Hobbs in AEW more. But you can tell there, when the matches I have seen, you can see the greenness. You can see that he hasn't been in the game that long. Steiner doesn't really show his lack of experience. You can see it here and there, like, wasn't this NXT NXT a week ago? I forgot what they called it. I'm surprised I still watch the damn show. But he went... It was during the main event triple threat match. Ciampa was wrestling or had Dolph up on something. And I don't know what Braun was trying to do, but all of a sudden he just jumps over to the side where Ciampa is. And you're like, what? So, I mean, you can make fun of it, but you can also just put it down to lack of experience. He's new. So, why are we pushing him to the moon? I mean, well, I kind of know why. Vince sees dollar signs. That's got to be his main motivation, why he's doing this. And he's okay, but to push him so quickly, this isn't helping Braun or Steiner or whatever you want to call him. I want to call him Steiner, but it's not my choice. But yeah, it's, you're, in a way, they're setting him up to fail. I don't want him to fail. I don't want most wrestlers to fail. Well, there's a few. But, to push him too early is just not going to help him. I don't like it. To me, storyline-wise, he didn't really prove himself to be champion to begin with. And he's not really proven himself to already be at the main roster. However, he is a lot better option than, let me see the name here because we haven't talked about him in a while, Gable Stevenson, who apparently is reported to get a main roster push right off the bat. We haven't even seen him. We don't even know what he can do. And I know that, well, hey, he was in the Olympics like Kurt Angle, and he's strong like Kurt Angle. Yeah, but Kurt Angle was different. And this is the reason. And Kurt Angle could have bombed. We all know he could have. But he surprised everybody. And, hey, I'll say it. If he does, Gable Stevenson could prove me wrong, could prove a lot of people wrong, but we don't know yet. They're just pushing it too quick. Like, this is our guy. I mean, they're also doing that with a lot of superstars, especially now that WWE doesn't want professional wrestlers. They want entertainers. But it just puts a sour taste in my mouth. Like, we don't know what he can do. Actually, I don't even think he does. Has he been training? Has he been a part of a live crowd? I mean, look at Ronda. Come on. Look at Ronda. Put your love for her aside. Look at her in-ring work. And she was already in the business for 1 year. We all know how that went, and now she's back, and still, So I don't know, yeah, could prove me wrong. I'll be happy if he does. That'd be awesome, but I can we stop with this? I say that, but I know WWE and they won't stop. So let's move away from old WWE. We'll bitch about them another day, probably next week. They have tons of television shows that give me plenty of options to bitch about. But let me talk about AEW. And yes, there was a new AEW last night. It was good. It was all right. But a hell of a lot better than last week. And I say that because, and I have some examples here, but, and I talked about it last week, AEW Revolution was awesome. I talked about the few exceptions. I won't do it again. Don't you worry. But it was good. It was a good, solid pay-per-view. And when you have a good to great, solid pay-per-view, you're really looking forward to that next show. What's going to happen on Dynamite? How are they going to set things on fire? And it was, I mean, it just didn't, to me, didn't carry that momentum from the pay-per-view to the next show. They got, like I said, they got a little better this week, but that first show after the pay-per-view, But here's why, and even though I love Jeff Hardy, love that he's in AEW, the way he was brought in to the, God, how, it was the HAHO, you know, that stupid freaking thing. Pretty much everyone turned on Matt, and before freaking, while Matt's getting his ass kicked, here comes Darby and Sting taking their sweet time. Like, seriously, if you can find it again, go back and watch it. Matt's getting beaten by like 5 or 6 people. Whatever. And here comes Darby and Sting just looking tough. Well, let's take our time. Everything's good. Actually, if you go over to the Squirt Sucker Rants Facebook page, I had a video up because I couldn't friggin' believe it. And then Jeff, after that, made his debut, and a lot of people gave him shit for as he's coming down the ramp, he just does this, and then keeps going, you know, never mind that your brother's getting beat up. I can forgive that. Now, if Darby and Sting weren't even there, I'd probably jump in and make fun of Jeff too, but they did worse than Jeff. They just, let me take this off. Let me look tough and brooding. Let me slowly get into the ring. They got their asses kicked. I don't know. It's just so freaking, just so stupid. But I am happy Jeff is there, and even last night we got to see the Hardys. Remember that, not the Hardy Boys. They were able to continue with the music, but they can't use the boys anymore. You can take the boys out of the... I don't know where I was going with that. But the Hardys had their first match last night. But, you know, an okay debut. Could have been better. Sting and Darby freaking speed it up. Come on. Just letting people you want to help. I mean, what was it? 2-3 weeks ago? They went rushing. Oh, no, yeah. It was during the... Punk getting his ass kicked, bleeding everywhere. They ran right in. They helped out, but here, I don't... What, they didn't have their caffeine for the day? What the... But let's move on from that. Well, this isn't necessarily a bitch. I just feel it could have been done better. The whole Wardlow speech, I'm still behind him. I love Wardlow. But you can tell he's not that comfortable on the mic, though he did good. He did do a good job. It does still add to the story between him and MJF. Essentially, you know, there was no MJF that night, no CM Punk, except for Punk had a pre-taped promo after his match. But essentially, still adding to this whole thing of just leave me alone and we're good, which of course Max didn't listen this week. Excuse me. Dinner was good. Um, but I kind of wanted, I don't know, I was happy that he got to make his speech. He had his moment. He did all right. I want to see more of him, but I felt they could have added more. Like maybe have Sean Spears come out, try to hit him, and then Wardlow, stares at him and he kind of backs off, which would make what happened this week a little more, oh, Sean Spears finally gets to do his thing. It was all right. Moving on to Regal's promo. I thought it was good. A little long, but then again, he's out there with Bryan Danielson, Moxley. He's talking about why he's there, why he's helping these guys. But yes, he went a little long. We can all tell that, but it's Regal. We love Regal. Even when he was the GM of NXT, he didn't really speak all that often. Of course, we all miss the War Games thing. But I liked it. A lot of people gave him grief, or at least I think they did, which made I don't know if it made Regal, but Regal, just being the stand-up guy he is, apologize to the people working with him. I don't think he needed to, but that's just who he is. He goes, I'm sorry I went long, won't happen again. But I was still entertained. I understood that it probably went longer than it should, but especially that remark where he says, I've had a few empty bottles, or a ton of empty bottles and a few broken hearts, and then he rubs Tony Schiavone's lapel. It seems you haven't found a sailor in all this time. No, sorry, Tony. It was it was good, but yes, going forward, he knows what he's doing. This is Regal. Especially love that they're adding what happened last night. Wheeler Yuta wanting to kind of join or learn, and Regal smacking him and seeing what he's about, what he's going to do. And he goes, all right, you get better and then come talk to us. And I'm like, I like that. That adds to the story. It adds some intrigue. Is he going to, leave the best friends, which I'm not really excited for best friends much anymore. I mean, there are a lot of them talented people. Definitely talented, but I think it's ran its course. Orange Cassidy, while he makes me laugh here and there, I think that gimmick's kind of run its course. I think it would be better if you just had Trent and Chuck Taylor, doing the tag team. Would fit better. I know from what I've heard and read, they're with Chaos in Japan now, so I don't see the group splitting up anytime soon. Statlander, the whole alien thing, of course, this week, it looks like she may be breaking away from that character or becoming heel, which makes sense because as a babyface, she wasn't that much of a babyface when she was facing, what's her name? What's her name from AEW? But yeah, they just need to go. Or at least take time off or do something different. I've heard a lot of great things about Danhausen, but Jim Cornette made the good point of AEW hasn't told us who's Danhausen, what he's about, or giving examples for why he is the way he is. It's been a little humorous when he pops up, I'll give him that, but it's already starting to get stale. The whole, or whatever he does. And he looks, I've seen him even on YouTube, looks entertaining, but so what else are they going to do with him? Just seems like another, well, I won't say huge debut, but another debut just kind of getting, lost in the shuffle. Let's move on to JAS. Let me say that again. JAS, which stands for the Jericho Appreciation Society. Uh, why couldn't we just implode the inner circle? You know, I mean, he did turn. That happened. The inner circle is no more. Cool. People are going to move on, have a little bit of a feud. But no, now Jericho has new members. Well, except for Hager. He's still a part of the show. Because what else is he going to freaking do? But, but now we have 2.0 and Garcia apart. And they... Well, Garcia didn't get renamed, but the other two, sorry guys, I forgot your names. I loved you in NXT. Loved the 2.0 thing. Apparently that's no more. They got new or newer names now. I wasn't really paying attention, to be honest with you. I mean, the inner circle was good, but it wasn't as Jericho would put it, the greatest group. It really wasn't as great as he was showboating. But this... really? JAS? I mean, why not just call it the Chris Jericho Ass Kissers? And that's essentially what it is so far. They did. Here last night on Dynamite, that's all they freaking did. It was the two former members of 2.0 was just saying all sorts of great crap about Jericho, and Jericho's not a professional wrestler. He's an entertainer. I don't know where the hell they're going with that. We'll see. We'll see, I guess, but I just... Then... Well, and another thing that really got to me is... And this is just something personal to me in all of wrestling, whether it be WWE, Impact, any company. I don't like, unless it's a good reason for it, I hate when you have the championship title like in the middle or towards the end. To me, the championship title match should always be the main event. I mean, unless there's a women's match, I'll give them that because that's a major title. Have it as the main event. I get that. But out of nowhere, on Dynamite the other week, we just had Dante Martin got a championship title match. Like, oh, okay. And one could argue, well, look at the rankings. He's been doing really good in the rankings. Yeah, but AEW flip-flops with their carrying of the rankings. He hasn't really been in the huge title picture. He put on a good to okay showing. I'll give him that. But it was just out of nowhere. Oh, here's the first match of the night. A title match. Like, what? And it was all right. Paige kind of saved it with, hey, man, you gave me a run for my money. You ever get in this position again, let's go. I like that. But it just seemed really out of place and added to the of, it went into the low momentum of the first show after a pay-per-view. And speaking of low momentum, a new signing. Are you ready? Are you ready? Paige Van Sant. Anybody? Anybody? Well, if you're a UFC or fighting fan, you might know who she is. I have no clue. I just know she's been a part of America Top Team, that another stupid freaking faction in AEW. But apparently, yes, Paige Van Sant is all elite. What do you freaking do? I don't see like I said, if you're a UFC fan or MMA fan, hey, that's great for her. She gets to be in wrestling, but she's shown us nothing except for being a part of the show, being a part of American Top Team. So I didn't really see this as a, man, we need to show this everywhere that she's all elite. Okay, I don't care. Unless she proves herself, that'd be great. But right now, like Gable Stevenson, eh? Actually, she's even doing better than Gable Stevenson because she's been on TV. So yes, there's my ranting, raving, bitchiness of things I've seen in WWE, AEW. I have one more rant here to go on, but I'm gonna set it up because I'm a professional, as you can see. This one just really gets to me. And it has to involve, and we're going to end it with this one because I've wasted enough of your time. You're welcome. But yes, this involves the Briscoes. To anyone that's been following them, you know, wherever I mostly saw them in Ring of Honor. But they've been everywhere. They've been in Japan. Really great team. Going into the Ring of Honor Hall of Fame. Love Jay, love Mark. And it seemed we were going to get them versus FTR. And if you were like me, you were hoping on it. They started something at the last Ring of Honor show. It's going to, we were all hoping for a good feud to start, for them to get in the ring and put on a great wrestling match. Well, apparently, that's not going to be. And it's not AEW. We don't know their involvement on this, but apparently, a higher up in Warner Media, is that how you say it? Who runs shows, AEW is a part of it. I'm not going to get into logistics. At least one person at Warner Media absolutely does not want the Briscoes because of Jay Briscoe himself. Oh, and I'm already getting upset when I'm just about to talk about it. But it's due to tweets or homophobic tweets that Jay Briscoe made 9 years ago. This gets me. And we've seen it not just in wrestling, we've seen it all over. There's plenty of examples. People either losing jobs or not being able to succeed further because of past mistakes. Now, I'm not going to bring up what he said back then. I don't know if I've read them before or I just got the gist that they were homophobic. I'm not here to argue what he said, whether it was or wasn't. Mostly because Jay admitted it was bad. It was homophobic. And he's apologized numerous times. And actually, from what I just found out earlier, apparently he even donated money to a certain group in the LGBT community. And not only that, so let's put the donation aside, but let's get to the fact that he apologized numerous times. Even here recently, I believe you can find it. Yes, I did share it on the Facebook Squared Circle Rants Facebook page, where he apologized again today, but he also apologized in the past, and not just that. He's changed his ways. This was, to me, a man who was ignorant, learned what he did was wrong, and went, you know what? I shouldn't think that way. I love everybody. I'm sorry for my actions. And he was sincere. My question is, what more do you want? I mean, I'll give you this. If he still had those views now, if he was still spouting that hate on Twitter, any social media, on camera, yeah, I get it. I wouldn't hire him either, because you don't want that kind of person to be in your workplace. But here is a man who saw the errors of his ways, smartened up, apologized deeply, but you still won't have him. Because actually, we don't know whoever this exec is. We don't know their motivations. We just know they don't want him because of the past. Oh my God, leave it in the past. Are you telling me here, I'm not trying to make this about me. I'm just really passionate about this. Here I am, trying to do a podcast, trying to make a living. And I'm a guy saying that who maybe barely gets 5 views every freaking week. But seeing what's going on with Jay Briscoe, are you telling me, a man myself who I will fully admit I've done bad things in my past. I've apologized for them. I've changed my ways. Are you telling me I should never be successful because of mistakes I made in the past? So all this is worth nothing because of the mistakes I made in the past? So should I just give up? Or should I just keep working or should I just keep going, work hard, build this up, just so people go, well, hey, Mr. Awesome, you said this in the past, your life's over. I'll calm down a little bit. Sorry. But you get the point. Let it go. It's over. Isn't that what you wanted? Isn't that what we all want when someone's ignorant? You want to change their views. You want to say, hey, man, or girl, or whatever. Your views are hateful. Look at it this way. Hey, man, look, life isn't about that. You should love everybody, no matter what. Well, anyway, that's a different... But love everybody no matter what. And he did. Even people behind the scenes who have worked with Jay Briscoe know he's doing better. And he's a better man for it. So one last time, can we just let it go? It's time. I'll leave it at that. Whew. All right, heart rate's probably up a little bit. Sorry about that. But let's end this podcast before I get more heated, or let's be honest, before I start crying. Thank you guys for watching yet another episode of the Squared Circle Rants podcast. Please, come follow me, or follow us, my apologies, over on Facebook at the Squared Circle Rants Facebook page. You can also find all the fun, weird, stupid shit I do over on Instagram. And you can also find me on RC_awesome over on Twitter, where I post just random crap, but some wrestling. And of course, you can find us here on YouTube, where I do the Squared Circle Rants podcast. Please, again, please, like, share, and subscribe. I'm Mr. Awesome RC Gade, and as always, thank you. Squared Circle Rants. Mark out with us!